In this video, we're going to go over some of the print options in Excel and how you can adjust them. So we've got our spreadsheet here, and it's quite long, but it could potentially fit on one page. If we go and look at Print Preview now, you can see that there's a chunk of it that's on the second page, and then there's a whole empty column that's appearing there. So we want to fix that up, and you can do a lot of these things either from File, Print, and a lot of the settings are there, or you can do it from the page layout options. And we can have a look at both. So the first thing to do, if you want any headers or footers, you can do that in the page layout view. You can see this one has got the file name in there. If you click in the header and footer, you see it's got three sections, left, center, and right. And then it brings up the header and footer tools, and you can add things like page numbers, current date, file name, even images and so on. And there's a footer as well where you can add all sorts of things. Okay, then if you want to see how the page is going to print and you want to adjust where the page ends and what the print area is, you can go into this page break preview that we're in now. You can see the print area is the white area. Everything in the gray area will not print. So we're going to adjust this. That's why this blank column L has been included here. So I'm going to drag this blue border out there and remove that column from the print area. Now we can make adjustments. We can manually drag this dotted line, which is creating the division between page 1 and page 2. We could just drag that and try and squish it onto the page. Alternatively, we can go into the page layout options and look at some of the options there. So we've got margins, just like we have in Word, and you can have normal, wide, narrow, etc., which might be useful in this case to kind of get a bit of extra space on the page. Page orientation, a lot of spreadsheets, if they're wide like this, it may be better to change it to landscape. In this case, that fits everything on the page width-wise, but now I've got a few students that are not fitting on the page going down. So we can decide how we want to do that. The print area button here, again, if we select everything that we want to print, we can use the set print area or clear print area instead of going to page break preview. You can also manually insert page breaks if you want a specific page break in a specific place. But that's the same as dragging this line here in page break preview. We can set a background image, but usually that's distracting unless you've got a very sort of pale image. So we've got other options like printing titles. So we might want some headings to appear on every single page. So if we click on there, it opens the page setup window, and that has got a lot of the same settings that we've been looking at with these buttons here. We can manually set the margins here as well. Another thing on the margins tab while we're here is the center on page horizontally and vertically. And that can look quite nice, especially if you've got something that's quite small and doesn't fill the whole page. Then you might want to center it to make it look a bit neater. And then you can see the header and footer, another place to do it here. And then we've got sheet. We want to say print titles, and we can choose rows to repeat at top and columns to repeat on the left. So now ours is landscape, so it's going down onto several pages. So we want the rows, the headings to appear at the top. So I'm going to click here and click on this little arrow, and then it gives me the option to select a row that's going to be repeated at the top. Now I want to repeat the second row that's actually got the column headings. I'm actually going to select these ones, the second one as well, so that it's got the totals of those test marks. And you can do the same with the columns, and you can say you want to print grid lines, but here we've got borders anyway, so it doesn't matter. You can also print the row and column headings, which is the ABC 1, 2, 3, if you want to. And then we're going to click on OK. And now we're going to go back into our print preview and see what we've got. So our second page now, perhaps we should have reprinted this heading at the top as well. The second page also has these headings that were on the first page. In this view, we can also change things such as the actual printer, which sheets are being printed. We've only got the one sheet, but you can also print every sheet that there is, as well as just the cells that you've selected. You can choose your one-sided, two-sided options there. And landscape or portrait, you can change it here as well. Paper size and scaling. You can force it to fit everything on one page, which, as you can see, makes it a lot smaller. You can say fit just all the columns on one page, or fit all the rows on one page, which in this case does the same as fit sheet on one page. You can also do those here in this section on the page layout part of the ribbon. You can scale it to a specific amount. You can say force the width onto one page, force the height onto one page or 2 pages, and so on.